Hey guys, welcome back to Fit Pro Firepower with me, John the Toc. This episode is going to be a little bit different because usually we're talking about how to make sure you succeed, how to make sure you don't fail. So we look at the mechanics of how to build your business, get more clients, be a better coach, be a better trainer, all that kind of stuff. But unfortunately, what a lot of people don't talk about is, do you know what the price of success is going to be? If your business does grow, are you actually able to handle that, and is it what you really want? So this episode is going to make sure that you are on the right path. Okay, so what am I actually talking about here? How can it possibly be a bad thing to succeed? Well, I come back to a phrase that actually I've heard from Jim Carrey a few times, where he said, you can actually succeed at what you don't want. And what he meant by that was that a lot of people become very good at a particular job. They're very successful in terms of maybe they get lots of clients, they make lots of money, they get promoted to a very high level. And from the outside, it looks as though they're succeeding. You know, they're making plenty of money, they've got a big house, they've got a big car, they're high up in the business. To all intents and purposes, it looks like they've completed the computer game. You know, they've got to a really high level. But what's actually going on is that they're deeply unhappy. They don't want to go to work. They're having to live off stimulants, alcohol, drugs, all that kind of stuff is so much more common than you would think. And what I want to do is to get you thinking today about, are you even building the right business for you? So it may seem slightly different in that you're building your own career, you feel very much in charge of your own path, and that is one of the objectives of being an entrepreneur. You're actually kind of in control of what you're doing, whereas if you work for a big business, a lot of the time you have to obviously abide by rules, you have to go down the path that the business wants to go down, so you're not quite so much in control. So it may seem like being an entrepreneur is the way forward, you know, if you want that kind of flexibility, but what I've seen over and over again, and I have actually found for myself quite a few times, is that you can succeed with your business, you can grow parts of your business, and then suddenly realize that you really wish you hadn't. Okay, so for example, do you understand the requirements and responsibilities that will actually occur if you do grow your business? So let's say your main thing is group fitness. I know a lot of you guys, some of you doing sort of part personal training, part group fitness, part online. If you grow your group fitness business to a point where you are running classes every day from 6 in the morning till 8 or 9 at night, then do you understand what is going to happen at that point? Either you are working every night of the week, and if you have a girlfriend or a wife and kids and stuff, then it's going to put a strain on those relationships. Okay, do you actually understand that? Do you appreciate what that is actually going to bring? Yes, you're going to be making decent money and the business is doing well, but it's going to put pressure on the rest of your life. So the obvious reaction to that is, well, that's where I start developing a team. And you're probably right, that's where you start bringing in other trainers. But again, do you understand what responsibility that brings? Are you the kind of person who is able to not only develop a team in terms of bringing in the right coaching skills, educating the trainers, and so on, but are you actually able to manage that team, to deal with conflict resolution, to understand different personalities and actually use different personalities in the right areas of your business? There's so many things that come with building and leading a team. Are you actually prepared for that? And is it something that you want to do? Do you actually want that responsibility? Like I just said, some of you watching this might have kids, and obviously that's a difficult job enough as it is. But then when you actually employ people, it can almost feel very much the same, where they're looking to you for guidance. They're looking for you to help them increase their knowledge and literally learn about the business, learn about life, and become better on a daily basis. Are you ready for that responsibility? Because whilst you can sort of create a development path, you can create sort of internships and so on, there's a lot of personal factors that come with that. And for a lot of people, it is very, very stressful. And it might seem like you're living the dream when you've got people working for you. You know, you can be sat at home thinking, oh, people are actually, you know, someone else is doing the donkey work in my business and I'm still making money. But like I said, it comes with a lot more responsibilities. It puts a lot more pressure on you, and you have to be willing and able to deal with that. Online is another one. You know, the temptation these days is I want to just have an online business. It seems to come with the dream of travel and getting up whenever you want to get up and having freedom throughout the day, and you can live out all your hobbies and adventures and stuff. And to a point, that can be true. But, you know, I've found myself in that position now to a point, largely because of unforeseen circumstances. I had to close down successful offline operations. Like I've said before, it's something I can't talk about for legal reasons, but it happened, and I found myself in a position where I actually had to grow stuff online. It wasn't 100% a choice, but it was the direction I decided to take after the gym incident. So again, it can seem like that's exactly the business I want because it seems like total freedom. But then what I have found is that in certain circumstances, when I've gone to new places, then I've had to deal with feelings of loneliness. And you know, that's something that for me when I was younger, it was a problem. And this stuff has sort of reared its ugly head a few times while I've been traveling. There's certain places I can go in the world where I've made a lot of friends, and it's not the case. You know, it's a lot more relaxed. But what I've found is that I often end up with way too much thinking time. And when I get too much thinking time, it's literally like a gun to my head. I start thinking the wrong things about myself and doubting myself. And the reason I tell you that is because, like I said, it can often seem like people are living the dream, but actually traveling and seemingly going on all these adventures is very exciting and very fulfilling a lot of the time, but also a lot of the time you can find yourself in dark places depending on how your mind works and the kind of person you are. So I keep coming back to, do you understand yourself? Do you understand your own values? Do you understand how your own head works? Do you understand the responsibilities and requirements that a particular type of business is going to bring? And is that what you want in your life? As a general a general thought process I want you to go on about entrepreneurship is that often you will find that essentially for a lot of entrepreneurs it's about building a business, bringing in other people to help you run that business, and freeing up your life. You want financial freedom, you want time freedom. But actually, like I said about when I actually found myself on my own with more spare time, it actually wasn't necessarily a good thing. And what a lot of entrepreneurs will then do is they enjoy the freedom for a little bit, and then their brain is like, I don't like having nothing to do. And so they start a new project, and this happens over and over and over again. So yes, it can seem like a good thing because you develop all these projects, it'll generate a lot of revenue and income, but then you keep coming back to your own personality and your own needs as an individual, and you keep wanting to be busy. You want to be doing stuff. You actually want to be working with people and having personal connections. So if we bring it back to the fitness arena, we come back to this point of, well, if that was what you wanted to do in the first place, is that if that's what you need to feel connected and to feel happy, then you may as well have just continued working in your own fitness camps, in your own personal training studio. Like I said, particularly if you have wife and kids or a girlfriend or boyfriend, and therefore you kind of want to be or maybe have to be in one particular location, then it brings about the question of, is working online actually what you wanted to do? And this is something I'm considering at this very moment. Is it something I want to do exclusively? It's great for income and having that side of things coming in, but if I want that more sort of personal connection, then ultimately I'm going to keep getting pulled back to wanting to teach classes and wanting to work one-to-one with people in the real world, for want of a better word, actually having that physical contact. Okay, so this is what I want you to really consider. Look at your business and say, it's very easy to go, okay, oh crap, what if this fails? What if this goes wrong? How am I going to feel about myself? What financial implications are there going to be, and so on. But I want you to also think about, what if this succeeds? What if my fitness camps do build to the numbers that I'm talking about and thinking about? What if I do get 40 or 50 personal training clients? How is that going to impact on my week? How is it going to impact on my health? There's a lot of very unhealthy personal trainers out there because they're having to get up at 4:35 in the morning, getting back home at 9 o'clock at night, shoveling food in and doing that 5-6 days a week. is that what you want to do? So it's almost like having contingency plans. You know, if I succeed, what is going to be required, and am I actually happy and willing to do that? It sounds kind of crazy if you haven't been there before. This won't maybe make as much sense as it will to people who have succeeded. They realise that often the dream that they built, the dream that they had, also brings its own nightmares. Okay, so that is very much individual, because you may be the kind of person that is totally happy just being on your own. You could sit in front of a computer for 8 hours a day and be totally content. I'm not that kind of person. Once I've done 2 or 3 hours, I'm like, I need some kind of personal contact. I want to be, if you know me for very long, you probably know that I am a bit of a showman. I like doing things like this. I like talking. I like being in front of people. I like being valued and seeing, oh great, there's 20, 30 people in front of me wanting to learn about fitness, wanting to be pushed hard. And I think that's why, or partly why, my fitness camps grew to the sizes they did, because for me it was all a show. You know, it wasn't just like, oh, I've got to go and teach another session. I was excited to do it. I wanted to be in front of people. I wanted to see what they could do. I wanted to be part of their success and to, you know, to push them and to see them go to their limit and beyond in a lot of the sessions. It was exciting for me, and it gave me a lot of personal fulfillment. Combined with that, yes, obviously there was the financial success, the business growth, the awards and all that sort of stuff. But now that I've had time to step away from it and certain things have been taken away from me, it was only then I realised how important they were to me. Okay, so this is the key message for today, is to really look at your business and say, okay, as things stand, if this works 100%, what is the situation going to be? What is going to be asked of me in terms of time? What is going to be asked of me in terms of financial commitments? You know, if you do build up 2, 3, 4, 5 locations, is there financial commitments in terms of you know, taking on leases? Is there going to be financial implications in terms of equipment and you know, purchasing equipment? There's so many different questions, and it really depends on how you are looking to build that. But you have to understand what are those requirements, and are you happy to take those on? Think about your relationships. What pressure is success going to put on those relationships? You know, it's very tempting, particularly as guys, we often take the approach of, but I'm doing this for my family, I'm earning money for the family, I'm doing it for them. And, you know, 99% of the time you genuinely mean that. But often what happens is we end up neglecting the very people that we think we're trying to serve. And you end up kind of being like, well, what am I supposed to do? I'm working hard, I'm earning money, and yet my partner's still not happy. This isn't fair. You know, because women in particular see things different to us. They want different things. And if you don't discuss this with your partner and decide what is the balance, how are we going to achieve that balance, and often, like I said, the success in your fitness business in particular, because of the nature of the hours and stuff, it can put a huge strain on the rest of your life. And other areas, even within the business, when you know, it sounds great to build up fitness camps and have lots of people paying you money, maybe you've got 150, 200 members, but what that brings is more and more questions. More and more people see you as a leader, and again, that might sound great. You might want to be, like I said, I like to be valued, I like to know people are valuing my opinion, they want my advice, but often what can happen is originally they come in and they want advice on, you know, carbs and protein and fats and what exercises to do. But once they realize that you've helped them out with that, then they start asking you more and more questions and getting a bit deeper. Can you help me out with my stress levels? Can you help me out with my lifestyle? You then start getting into relationships and you start connecting with people a lot more. And again, that might sound great, but it puts you in a certain position that some people can't handle, because you realize that actually a lot of people are now genuinely starting to depend on you for a better life. And that is very much a position of power, and it can be sort of too much for a lot of people. Okay, so we could talk about individual circumstances, we could talk about individual business models and the responsibilities and requirements that come with those, but you know, we could be here for sort of an entire week talking about it. What I want to do is simply to plant that seed in your mind and say, go away and ask, if I succeed, what is going to be asked of me? Am I willing to answer those questions? Am I willing to deal with that pressure? Or actually, is there a better business model that can deliver the money that I want and the lifestyle that I want with a lot less pressure, with a lot less stress? Okay, so lots of questions for you to ask. If you have any questions or you want to explore this, then by all means get in contact with me. You can email me, John, Jon, at fitprofirepower.com. I love to have these conversations. I've been through a lot of stuff myself, building fitness camps, personal training teams, traveling, relationships and all this kind of stuff. And piecing it together really is the key if you're going to live a happy life. Okay, yes, it's great making money, but you can make as much money as you want. But if you're doing it in a way that doesn't serve your values in your life, then often it actually becomes a ball and chain, and it won't make you any happy. You might as well work half as much and actually enjoy what you're doing. Okay, I hope all that makes sense. I hope it gives you food for thought, and I will see you on the next episode of Fit Pro Firepower.